right, folks, how you doing? RussellTroopResults303.com. Check out the website. Link in the description box. Mind, body, spirit, fitness, putting the healing back in health. Coming at you today with a video on religion and how it has grown and progressed over the years. I wanted to be able to do a little more research on the topic, but I've had a lot going on right now. Trying to get back in the gym myself, knee injury, uh, trying to write a book. So, hey, the great thing is I'm gonna put it out there for y'all. Just some food for thought. Hopefully, it helps you on your spiritual journey. Kind of open some new doors, whatever the case may be. And then, when I'm able to get back into more reading and things like that. Right now, it's just been, the Bible every morning, things like that. So I haven't been able to dive into these other things. But anyways, here we go. Progression. It's going to be more of Buddhism, Hinduism, a little bit of Judaism, Christianity, a little New Age I might throw in there. I'm not putting Islam in there, in my opinion. It was kind of a step back more towards like a Judaism type thing. So, like I said, I could be completely wrong. I haven't done too much research, but I'm just going off of some of the basic concepts here, kind of like I did with uh, my video on the progression of marriage through the years and things like that. So I know in Buddhism, Hinduism, I'm just going to kind of link them together. Buddhism is more of a philosophy. Hinduism, of course, is a religion philosophy. Eastern philosophy is what I throw them into the category of. So we've got kind of the Four Noble Truths, and then we've got the Noble Eightfold Path. Just these certain rules that you should live by, or certain truths of life. It's really based on meditation. There is some prayer, but meditation, quieting the mind. One thing in since I'm Christian Catholic, that's where I'm going for. They say, Christianity, the difference between Christianity and all other religions is God is searching for man. That's why Jesus is, the Son of God came down from heaven to show us the actual way, instead of it just being, was what Buddha said or what they think multiple gods said. It was God came down himself and became flesh and hunted us out, right? He had his 12 disciples. He found his 12 disciples and said, "Follow me. This is what it needs to be. This is what we need to preach and talk about, and the way we need to live." So it was God searching for man. Right? He found his 12 disciples. So when I'm in church a lot, that's what the priest always says. Sometimes we need to stop talking to God, and we need to shut up and listen to God. Whether it be turning off all the electronics around us, sitting in a room by yourself. And what is that really? That's meditation. It's emptying your mind, being quiet, silent, and listening for that voice of God, which is a form of meditation. And nowadays, we in the Catholic and the Christian community forget that. And I think that's one thing that my priest at my parish tries to, he tries to drive that message home to us, that it's sometimes you need to shut up and let God talk to you. And that's that beauty of meditation that we have forgotten over the years, right? So, one thing that they have the Dalai Lama, and one thing I didn't know until I started researching, I think they said the Dalai Lama is really only like a Tibetan thing. A lot of the other Buddhists, there's like their own war going on within their own community, kind of like with Christians, Catholics, and non-dominational and Protestant and Baptist. But Buddhism has the same thing with the Dalai Lama. From what I understood, it's only the Tibetans really see the Dalai Lama as a leader, right? And what is that? That it's the reincarnation of the first Dalai Lama or whatever it is, right? It's a reincarnation. And of course, we as Christians don't believe in reincarnation, but for this, it's a reincarnation, right? So for Dalai Lama, we can go through the progressions where God said, no, there's no reincarnation. You don't come back. There's other things. I'm going to get to that. But we have the Pope, right? We have the Pope. Not that the Pope is not reincarnated, right? The Pope is, we take our clergy, our bishops, our archbishops. I'm missing something. What is it? I can't remember what it is. The cardinals, and they vote by, they vote who will be the next pope by the Holy Spirit. So they sit in their rooms and they meditate and they pray together, and then they vote on who is going to be the next pope, the next leader of the church, right? So that's how that goes about. It's not a reincarnation. We don't believe in reincarnation. In my opinion, like I said, Christianity is the true religion. Catholicism is the true religion. So I'm coming from that aspect. So it's God blesses us with the Spirit to have the wisdom to vote in and find the leader of our church instead of a Dalai Lama, which is reincarnated. So next we'll go with karma, right? They believe, these Eastern philosophies believe whatever you do to someone will happen to you. And for Jesus, it was more of a just treat everyone the way you want to be treated. And that's also what, it's the same concept of karma. But I guess you can say we can go off of more of the heaven and hell, right? It's like, hey, if you're not getting your act right, you're going to hell, right? Or you're going to heaven. And I have a video on that, of what is the definition of heaven and hell. And and why would God let someone go to heaven or hell? And the reason why he would let someone go to hell is because you just would be better off there. Heaven is a place where you're in communion with God. You're with God, right? And if you're not worshiping God, you're a worshiper of money. The last thing you want to do is be with God. You don't really care for God. You don't believe in God. So, big thing. I'm not going to go there. Next, we have reincarnation, right? That's a big thing in these Eastern philosophies. Reincarnation of the body. Now, we believe the body will be resurrected, and we're not just a spirit, right? God molded man from the dust, breathed his life and spirit into us. But we believe we will be resurrected with the body on the last day, of course. So our body goes with us. It's something that's a part of us. We don't see it as a prison that holds the spirit back. We believe it's communion. Right? They're made for each other. God made it and then put it in us. It's not like we somehow got trapped in this thing. It's a part of us. It is us. Right? It's not a prison. So next with reincarnation, we as Christians, we don't have the reincarnation, because my understanding, and I could be completely wrong, is the reincarnation is you're reincarnated until you have figured out your path and your journey on this earth. And for us, we say no, you're here to learn and to find those things out, but if not, you're not reincarnated back into the system. We have purgatory, where you are cleansed of your sin and you get that understanding of what life was really about, and then we move forward. So we're not trapped in this cycle. We go into purgatory to be cleansed and to find the understanding of what we were supposed to do or what we were supposed to learn while we were here. Right? So once again, it's just that, in my opinion, it is the evolution of religion, or God saying, no, you had it, you were close, but you didn't really have it. You were close, but we didn't have it right. So next, we've got the multiple gods in some of these other religions, where there are, you kind of even in the Egyptian thing, like they worshipped the Nile River, or they worship a river because that river gave you fish and it had water to drink, so it brought life. So they worshipped it. Right? The earth, it gave you food and plants, and you were able to get shelter. And so you worshipped the earth. The sun gave you light, so you worshipped the sun, whatever the case may be. And for the Christianity, Catholicism, we have the communion of saints, right? Which is the same thing. And the downfall of that is, once again, we're worshiping the lake, the river. We're worshiping the earth. We're worshiping the sun. We're worshiping the created, right? Not the creator. So it's that same thing where the Catholics get a lot of grief because they say we worship the statues, we worship the saints and things like that. But no, you can't worship the creator, the created. We need to worship the creator. So we're losing that concept of God and general. We can't worship the sun, the the earth, the moon, and things like that, because those are created. We need to go beyond that and find the creator and give him praise. Thanks. So, and then once again with that multiple God thing, where does this come into effect? Is this is where we have the saints, right? We believe that there are these great men and women that were alive, and they have great value. It's the same thing of a biography, right? A biography of someone's life, or someone who really looks up to. I'm in Colorado, so Peyton Manning as being a great quarterback, and they want to emulate him, right? That's not what it's about. That's still the created, but they have great value, and we should look to them as examples of how to live our lives. And the thing that a lot of people get confused with when it comes to the Catholics and the communion of saints, we always think that we pray to them when really we are praying with them, or we pray that we ask them to pray for us because they are up there with God, right? And then people want to get into the thing, well, how do you know they're in heaven? Because people get confused with the concept of that Hitler could possibly go to heaven, and I'm tell you the truth, I'm confused with it too. I don't like the concept, but we're not the ones to judge. That's for God to judge. And but the one thing is, the church has never said that this specific person goes to hell, but they do say this specific person goes to heaven, and that's where we get a lot of our other concepts on confession and things like that, where Jesus told the disciples, whatever you loose on earth is loose on earth, whatever you retain is retained, right? So he gives the church, the 12 disciples, the beginning of the church, the ability to do these things. The church has still never condemned anyone to hell, but they have said that people are in heaven with God. And that's why we say, yes, they are in heaven, because the church has reviewed and looked at their life and said, hey, these are holy people. They are in heaven. So next, going into Judaism, you got the Ten Commandments, and finally we're worshiping one God. One God tells us, we need to worship Him, and there's a lot of other things in it, but I just jumped straight to Christianity. Like I said, we got the saints, multiple gods. God had to straighten that out and say, hey, no, you're not worshiping them, but hey, we can look to them for advice and as holy examples of ways to live our life. We've got the Pope, we've got the Dalai Lama. For us, we have more of we went on more of the prayer thing. I think meditation is really big in the Eastern philosophy, and not much of a prayer. Like Jesus gave us that prayer, that Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. So we have that prayer. So now we have more of a prayer life. A lot of these saints and other people make prayers or create prayers, and we recite these prayers. Jesus gave the Beatitudes. I touched on purgatory, and then I think we took a step back. Like I said, with Islam, it took us back instead of forward. It took us back to more, we are a slave, is what I've heard, is that we are a slave to God. We're supposed to do whatever He says. And then we've got this new age where we are gods. We can create whatever we want. So once again, that's a step back. Once again, we're worshiping the created, not the creator, right? That's why we fall victim, and we worship other people. We worship our business that we create. We worship ourselves, and that's that kind of ego-driven thing. That's why they say that's kind of the downfall, or a lot of these rich people get into that concept. I think they become more spiritual towards the end. That's why they decide to donate a lot of their money, give it away. Kind of when I watched that show, what was it, the Rockefellers and Carnegie, I think it was. That's why we have Carnegie Hall, and that's why we have all these things, because I think they realized the life that they had led up until that point was all for nothing. So they decided that they wanted to give back to the community, or maybe it could have been more of, they just wanted to be gods here on earth themselves. You never know what's in another man's heart. Only God knows that. So, once again, like I said, I think it's just Christianity is God, like they say, is God seeking out man. You know, He's trying to tell us, hey man, I created you, but that's all right because I also give you everything I have. He gave us His Son. He gives us His Spirit. He gives it all, and once we're able to harness that and build that relationship with it, anything's possible, right? So God Himself finally had to intervene and start pushing us in the right direction. And we're slowly getting there. But unfortunately, they still want to push us back with this new age type stuff, which really isn't anything new, right? The Egyptians thought they were gods. There are plenty of people in life that thought they were gods. Um, so, like I said, how is the religion progressed? We had certain Buddhist religions have the Dalai Lama. We have the Pope. They think the Dalai Lama is reincarnated. The Pope is elected by so-called holy men, right? They've had multiple gods. We have the saints. That's the progression. We don't worship these men and women as gods. They're just saints to help us on our journey, and we can see what worked for them. That same concept. There's more than one way to skin a cat. Well, there's more than one way to become holy. Right? There are people who just become monks, and they don't ever leave the churches. Back in Judaism, there were scribes who all they did was just write the Bible. They preached. They just wrote it over and over and over again. Right? So there's multiple ways to do these things. There's beggars, but you beg. And I think I read a book when I was on my spiritual retreat about I can't remember her name, the lady who started the Little Sisters of the Poor. And that's all she did. She just walked around and begged rich people for money so she could build the Little Sisters of the Poor community. Right? So once again, we got prayer and meditation. Meditation was something that was very valuable in the Eastern philosophy that us Christians have forgotten about, but we need to get it. Purgatory, it's not reincarnation. It's a place of spiritual cleansing and understanding to where we can finally go and meet God. Right? So I'm sure I missed a few things, but there's this video's been going for quite a while. So once again, please comment, throw in whatever concepts and things that you might think are interesting. Throw it in the comment box. Let's start it. Let's hopefully keep it positive, no negativity. So once again, get down in there, have some conversations. Let's hear what's going on in everybody else's spiritual journey. Right? You might disagree with me. Throw it in there. You might have something to add on to it. Throw it in there. All right. Once again, I hope this helps. Subscribe to the channel. Share and like these videos.